In a world where friendships are formed with the swipe of a screen, and relationships can be as fleeting as a passing breeze, it's easy to feel connected yet painfully alone. Have you ever felt that someone close to you is there only for what they can take, not for who you are? Perhaps it's a colleague, a friend, or even a partner who showers you with compliments, paints a picture of camaraderie, but somehow their presence leaves you feeling depleted rather than fulfilled. Meet Alex, a diligent worker, a compassionate friend, and someone who believes in the good in others. Like many of us, Alex had a friend, someone who was always around when the sun shone bright, but often vanished when the clouds gathered. Through Alex's story, we'll explore 6 telltale signs of people who only use others, leaving trails of disappointment and disillusionment. In each of these signs, reflect on your own experiences. Are you perhaps seeing someone in your life who mirrors these behaviors? These signs aren't always obvious. Sometimes they hide behind a kind smile or a well-timed compliment. So as we begin, ask yourself, is this person a true friend or just a master of manipulation? The last of these 6 attitudes you'll find often becomes the breaking point, the final realization that can lead to true clarity. Stay with us to the end. Every piece of insight could help you foster relationships built on mutual respect rather than one-sided gain. 1. Empty promises. The art of saying, not doing. Promises are the bonds that tie human hearts together, creating trust and a sense of reliability. But what happens when promises are made merely to pacify, to pull us in, without the intention of keeping them? For Alex, the first hint that something was amiss with his friend, Leo, came from promises that were always made in the heat of the moment, yet hardly ever kept. Leo would often speak in grandiose terms, planning get-togethers, joint projects, or promises of assistance whenever Alex needed support. "I'll be there," Leo would say with a reassuring smile, painting visions of unwavering friendship. Yet, time after time, when the hour came, Leo would be nowhere to be found, his words like dust in the wind. What is it that makes some people so quick to make promises, yet so reluctant to fulfill them? Could it be that these promises serve as tools, momentarily bridging the distance between two people, all while deepening the imbalance of the relationship? Here lies one of the most common tactics of those who seek only to use others: promises as tools of manipulation. For Alex, each broken promise was a bruise on the trust he'd built, a reminder of Leo's absence in times of need. When Alex faced a particularly challenging work deadline and asked Leo for help, as he had once promised, Leo's response was evasive. "I'd love to help, Alex, but I'm just swamped with my own projects. Maybe next time." How often have we all heard similar excuses? These types of people skillfully avoid fulfilling their promises, weaving webs of excuses or simply disappearing when you need them most. They are like actors on a stage, performing when it suits them, vanishing behind the curtain when the scene demands commitment. Stoic reflection. In Stoicism, actions are far more valued than words. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Real friendship is built not on empty words, but on a foundation of actions that reflect care and mutual respect. If someone's actions consistently fall short of their promises, Stoicism teaches us to let go, to distance ourselves from those who erode our peace. Yet, we must ask, how many chances are too many? Do we hold on out of hope, believing each time that next time will be different? Or do we acknowledge the pattern? And at what cost to our own peace? As we dive deeper, we'll see how this pattern of broken promises is often accompanied by other traits that slowly erode one's self-worth. The next behavior, one that Alex encountered all too often slips in under the guise of humor or casual remarks. but the impact it leaves can be deeply damaging. Join us in uncovering the next sign of those who may be using you more than caring for you. 2. Subtle put-downs. The weight of diminishing words. Words hold immense power. They can uplift, encourage, and inspire, but they can also cut deeply, leaving scars that are invisible yet profoundly felt. For those who seek only to use others, words often serve a different purpose: to diminish, to cast doubt, and to keep the other person feeling less than. For Alex, this behavior manifested subtly at first. Leo, his friend, had a knack for slipping in comments that seemed harmless on the surface, but left Alex feeling uneasy. When Alex would share a new idea or a small personal victory, Leo would respond with a smirk. "That's interesting," he'd say, his tone carrying a hint of skepticism. Or he might make a joke at Alex's expense, chuckling as he said, "You sure that's the best way to go about it?" Each remark, each subtle jab, was like a drop of water on a stone. Individually, they seemed trivial, easily dismissed as humor or harmless criticism. But over time, Alex noticed the cumulative effect. Leo's words chipped away at his confidence, leaving him feeling hesitant and unsure, even about things he'd previously felt certain of. What drives someone to undermine others in this way? For people who are self-serving, subtle put-downs can be a way to keep their friend on unequal footing. By keeping Alex in a state of doubt, Leo ensured that Alex would often turn to him for validation, a need that only deepened his dependence on their friendship. This, as Stoicism reminds us, is not friendship but a tactic of control. True companionship nurtures confidence, never erodes it. Stoic reflection. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." In true Stoic philosophy, our response to words, our choice to take offense or to remain unshaken, defines the impact they have on us. While it's wise not to let every small remark sway our self-worth, it's equally crucial to recognize patterns of erosion. Genuine friends build up rather than tear down, finding strength in each other's successes. Reflect for a moment. Have you ever felt smaller after sharing a joy or a dream with someone? Do their responses encourage growth, or do they seem designed to keep you questioning your own abilities? If so, the words may be doing more than joking around. They may be signals of a relationship that is subtly out of balance. For Alex, these put-downs eventually reached a point of clarity. He began to see that Leo's remarks weren't aimed at improvement, but at control, feeding Leo's insecurities by making Alex question himself. Yet, Alex hesitated to confront the issue. After all, wasn't Leo just being realistic or honest? But Stoicism reminds us that honesty without respect is merely a mask for cruelty. In time, Alex's awareness grew, and as he started to stand firmer in his own self-worth, he began to notice other patterns in Leo's behavior, patterns that went beyond words to a deeper one-sidedness in their friendship. The next sign, as we'll explore, often manifests when the scales of give and take are heavily tilted in one direction. Stay with us as we move to the next behavior, a telltale attitude that shows when someone takes more than they give. 3. One-sided giving, the burden of a unilateral relationship. True friendship, like any meaningful relationship, is a balance of give and take, a mutual exchange of support, care, and time. Yet, for those who seek only to use others, this balance is often conspicuously absent. They take readily but give sparingly, leaving their friends feeling drained and unappreciated. Alex began to notice this imbalance with Leo when he took stock of their interactions. Leo was quick to ask for favors, whether it was borrowing a bit of money, requesting help with a project, or leaning on Alex for emotional support. "I don't know what I'd do without you," Leo would say with a grateful smile. Yet, when the tables turned, Leo's availability seemed to vanish like mist. Whenever Alex needed a hand or an empathetic ear, Leo would be too busy or simply not respond. One evening, Alex found himself reflecting on an incident that had bothered him. His car had broken down unexpectedly, and he'd called Leo, who lived nearby, hoping he could give him a ride home. Leo answered with his usual friendly tone but quickly came up with an excuse. "Ah, man, I'd love to help, but I'm in the middle of something right now. Hope you get it sorted out, though." After hearing, "hope you get it sorted out," one too many times, Alex realized that while he was always there to lift Leo up, Leo was never around when Alex needed him. It was a relationship where Alex gave consistently, but the reciprocity was glaringly absent. The realization brought a mixture of sadness and frustration. He began to question why he felt responsible for helping someone who seemed to take his presence for granted. Stoic reflection. In Stoicism, relationships are valued not for the transient pleasure they bring, but for their impact on our virtue and growth. Epictetus once observed, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." A true friend requires little yet brings great value. If a person treats the relationship like a resource to be used, rather than a shared bond, it reveals the shallow nature of their attachment. Consider this. In your friendships, is there a mutual exchange of support and care? Or do you find yourself constantly giving while the other only takes? Reflect on whether these relationships uplift you or leave you drained and unfulfilled. Over time, Alex's patience began to wear thin. He recognized that Leo's one-sidedness was not a flaw of circumstance, but a consistent choice. Alex realized that genuine friends don't view relationships through a transactional lens. They don't take endlessly without giving back. The weight of this awareness became a quiet resolve within him. Alex began to distance himself, conserving his energy for those who valued his presence beyond what he could offer. It was an act of reclaiming his peace, honoring the balanced relationships that brought mutual strength rather than one-sided obligation. In the next part of our story, we'll explore another behavior often hidden behind a caring facade. As you'll see, some people subtly manipulate emotions, keeping others tethered through cycles of praise and criticism. Stay with us as we uncover the next behavior, the quiet, insidious tactic of emotional manipulation. 4. Emotional manipulation, the art of silent control. Emotional manipulation often hides in plain sight, cloaked in gestures that appear caring, even loving, but which subtly seek to control, influence, and bind. For those who exploit others, manipulation isn't about overt demands, but quiet coercion, pushing just the right emotional buttons to keep the other person off balance, seeking validation, or even feeling guilty. In his friendship with Leo, Alex began noticing subtle shifts in how he felt during and after their interactions. Leo had a way of alternating between praise and criticism, sometimes offering words of encouragement when Alex succeeded, but just as often casting doubt on his choices and achievements. "Are you sure this is the right path?" Leo would ask, his voice tinged with skepticism. "I just want the best for you, you know?" On other days, Leo's tone would be the opposite, filled with admiration and reassurance. "I don't know what I'd do without you, Alex. You're the only one who really understands me." These words left Alex feeling responsible for Leo's well-being, as though his friend's happiness depended on him. It was a cycle, a mixture of approval and criticism that kept Alex questioning himself, seeking Leo's affirmation and feeling beholden to his needs. This inconsistency confused Alex, and he found himself constantly wondering, what does Leo really think of me? Am I valued, or am I only useful? These questions lingered, and with them, the subtle feeling that he wasn't enough, that he had to earn Leo's respect or approval repeatedly. Stoic reflection. Reflect on your own relationships. Have you felt your self-worth rise and fall with someone's approval? Do you find yourself working to please, only to feel criticized again soon after? This is often a sign that the relationship is built on manipulation rather than mutual respect. For Alex, recognizing this was both painful and liberating. He came to see that Leo's praise and criticism were tools, creating an environment where Alex felt increasingly insecure and dependent on his friend's validation. The realization allowed him to reclaim his sense of self, slowly detaching from the need for Leo's approval and turning inward for affirmation. Through this journey, Alex grew stronger, wiser. He learned to value his own judgment, keeping his inner balance steady rather than allowing himself to be pushed and pulled by the unpredictable tides of Leo's behavior. In stepping back, Alex began to find peace, understanding that true friends are those who nurture self-respect, not erode it. Yet, Alex wasn't done learning. The next sign of manipulation would be even more glaring. Sometimes people are there for the good times, but disappear in times of struggle. In our next section, we'll examine the painful truth of friends who vanish in moments of need, a behavior that leaves lasting impacts on trust. Stay with us as we uncover this next attitude, an absence that speaks volumes about someone's true intentions. 5. The Vanishing Act, absence in times of need. When we think of true friendship, we often picture someone standing by our side in both joy and hardship. The real test of any relationship is not in times of celebration, but in moments of difficulty, when support is no longer convenient, but crucial. Those who seek only to use others, however, often vanish when the waters become rough, revealing their true priorities. For Alex, this reality became painfully clear over time. While Leo was always eager to join in on Alex's successes, celebrating, enjoying shared outings, and taking part in the good times, he was conspicuously absent whenever Alex faced challenges. The first instance seemed forgivable. When Alex's father fell ill and he reached out to Leo for support, Leo's response was full of sympathetic words, but empty of presence. "I'm so sorry, Alex. I'm just caught up with work right now, but hang in there. Let's catch up soon, yeah?" The second instance stung a bit more. Alex went through a challenging period at work, facing stress and long hours, and he reached out to Leo, hoping for a little encouragement or even just someone to listen. Once again, Leo was too busy, his messages brief and indifferent. Alex began to notice a pattern. Leo only seemed interested when things were easy, when Alex was in a position to give rather than receive. In his moments of greatest need, Alex felt alone, as though his friend's presence was conditional, based on convenience rather than commitment. As the disappointments added up, Alex felt a growing sense of betrayal. He began questioning whether Leo had ever truly cared for him or merely enjoyed the benefits of their friendship. It was a difficult realization, but one that ultimately set Alex free from illusions about their relationship. Alex came to see that true friends walk beside us through joy and sorrow alike. Those who are absent in times of need reveal a relationship built on shallow ground, a friendship by name, but not by substance. Stoic reflection. In Stoicism, relationships are valued not for transient pleasures, but for the support and growth they foster. Seneca once said, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." Similarly, hardship tests relationships, revealing those that are based on mutual respect and support. If someone's support depends on circumstances, then perhaps they are not truly by your side. A genuine friend remains steady, regardless of the situation, and values you as much in moments of need as in moments of joy. Reflect on the relationships in your life. Are there people who are absent when you most need support? Do they seem only to appear when times are good, leaving you to face hardship alone? This inconsistency often speaks to a deeper truth about where they place their priorities and how they truly view you. For Alex, this recognition was bittersweet. He realized that Leo's presence had been more of a comfort in good times than a source of strength in challenging ones. And while the realization was difficult, it allowed him to seek out connections that truly valued him, not just for what he could give, but for who he was. In the next part of our journey, we'll explore the sixth and final behavior, perhaps the most destructive of all. For those who only use others, there often comes a pattern of persistent disrespect, eroding the very foundation of trust and mutual care in a relationship. Join us as we conclude this exploration of toxic behaviors with the final and perhaps most revealing sign. 6. Persistent disrespect, the final break in trust. Respect is the silent foundation of any genuine relationship. Without it, even the most cheerful friendships or passionate relationships are built on shaky ground, prone to cracks and collapses. Respect isn't just about grand gestures, it's about the small, daily acknowledgments of each other's value, opinions, and boundaries. Yet, for those who use others, respect is often a mere tool, wielded only when convenient. This was the most painful lesson Alex learned with Leo. In the beginning, Leo's dismissive comments and occasional disregard for Alex's opinions seemed minor, easy to overlook. When Alex shared ideas or personal experiences, Leo would often respond with disinterest or criticism. "That's not really your strong suit," he would say casually, often passing judgment on Alex's thoughts or plans. It started with subtle remarks, but over time, Alex noticed a more troubling pattern. Leo treated his perspectives and achievements as less important, even trivial. One evening, Alex mustered the courage to share a creative project he had been working on for months. Nervous but proud, he showed Leo his work, hoping for some encouragement. Leo skimmed it briefly, shrugged and said, "It's okay, I guess, but are you sure this is worth your time?" His words, devoid of appreciation or respect, left Alex feeling deflated, doubting his own hard work. The accumulation of these small acts of disregard painted a clear picture. Leo didn't truly value Alex's ideas, feelings, or boundaries. And as time went on, Leo's disrespect became more overt. He would brush off Alex's achievements, change plans without considering Alex's time, and occasionally mock his interests under the guise of friendly teasing. These small jabs, though presented as light-hearted, carried an undertone of belittlement. For Alex, this was the final breach. He realized that Leo didn't see him as an equal, nor did he respect him as a friend should. The consistent lack of regard for his feelings and dignity was a clear indicator that Leo saw their relationship as one-sided, a means to fulfill his own needs rather than a true partnership built on mutual respect. Stoic reflection. In Stoicism, respect is fundamental, not just for others, but for oneself. Marcus Aurelius wisely reminded us, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If we allow others to treat us with disrespect, we risk internalizing that treatment, coloring our self-view with their disregard. True Stoic wisdom teaches us to honor our own dignity and to recognize when others consistently fail to do so. Real relationships nurture our sense of self, while disrespectful ones erode it. Reflect. In your relationships, do you feel truly seen and valued? Are your opinions, boundaries, and achievements respected? If someone persistently disregards your worth, they reveal a fundamental truth about how they view you, and perhaps how you should view them in turn. For Alex, this realization was both an ending and a beginning. It marked the end of his friendship with Leo, but also the beginning of a new chapter, one where he placed higher value on mutual respect and true companionship. He no longer allowed himself to be diminished by someone who couldn't see his worth. Alex's journey is one that many of us may find familiar. The subtle signs of being used can often hide in plain sight, disguised as friendship, humor, or simple carelessness. But by looking closer, by recognizing patterns of broken promises, subtle put-downs, one-sided giving, emotional manipulation, absence in times of need, and persistent disrespect, we gain clarity. These signs serve as reminders that true friendship and genuine relationships are founded on mutual respect, support, and sincerity. In a world where meaningful connections are rare, it's essential to be discerning, to value ourselves as much as we value others. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate relationships that uplift our sense of virtue, that respect our dignity, and that stand steady through both joy and hardship. If someone only drains your energy, offers empty promises, or belittles your worth, perhaps it's time to step back, reflect, and seek connections that nourish rather than deplete. So, reflect on your own relationships. Have you seen these signs in people around you? Do you feel valued and respected, or used and undervalued? Share your insights and stories in the comments. Remember, by choosing relationships wisely, you're cultivating a life of peace, purpose, and resilience. Thank you for joining us on this journey of reflection. If you found these insights valuable, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on building strong, meaningful connections rooted in Stoic wisdom. May your path be filled with relationships that bring you strength, respect, and true companionship.